The frog and turtle agreed immediately. After thinking for a moment, the student chose the theme, true love. The frog began first. This new story would tell the tragic romance between a human and a ghost. The setting was a war-torn future where society had fallen into chaos. Thousands of desperate civilians crowded around train stations, all fighting to secure tickets and escape the conflict. Among them was a young man named Chen. The station was so overcrowded that he couldn't even move through the crowd. Then heavy rain suddenly started pouring from the sky, forcing him to abandon the idea of traveling. Instead, he searched for shelter and eventually found an old roadside inn. Just as he was about to rent a room, two traveling merchants arrived ahead of him and took the remaining rooms. While Chen waited nearby, a strange bearded man suddenly approached him. The man warned him not to stay at the inn and insisted he leave immediately. But the old man looked unstable and paranoid, so Chen assumed he was simply crazy and ignored the warning. Later that night, while resting in his room, someone suddenly began pounding desperately on his door. When he opened it, he found a terrified young woman begging for help. Her name was Xiaoqing. She claimed dangerous men were chasing her and pleaded for permission to hide in his room for the night. Before Chen could fully respond, she rushed inside on her own and accidentally stumbled against a table, causing her robe to slip slightly from her shoulder. At first, Xiaoqing thought Chen was staring at her with bad intentions. But in reality, he was shocked by the horrifying scars covering her back. The wounds looked old, brutal, and painful. Feeling sympathy, Chen carefully applied medicine to her injuries and even handed her the ointment, so she could continue treating the wounds herself. For the first time in a long while, Xiaoqing looked genuinely surprised by someone's kindness. Unable to continue deceiving such a good-hearted person, she suddenly fled the room without another word. The next morning, the inn was thrown into panic. One of the merchants staying nearby had been found brutally murdered. His corpse looked completely drained of life. The mysterious bearded man calmly claimed the death was caused by evil spirits and warned the innkeeper not to involve the authorities. But Chen became suspicious. Believing a killer might be hiding inside the inn, he began secretly investigating. While searching the courtyard, he encountered Xiaoqing again. Worried for her safety, he urged her to leave immediately because something terrible was happening there. But Xiaoqing quietly revealed that she had something important to show him. She led him toward an abandoned well behind the inn. There, she finally confessed the truth. The real danger wasn't someone else. It was her. Xiaoqing was actually a ghost. Long ago, she had been the daughter of a wealthy family, but she died at a young age. Her remains had been buried near the inn, but later a powerful demoness practicing dark magic discovered her bones and enslaved her spirit. Whenever travelers arrived at the inn, Xiaoqing was forced to lure them toward death so the demoness could steal their souls and strengthen her powers. If Xiaoqing refused, she was brutally punished. That was why her back was covered in scars. She admitted that she originally visited Chen's room to claim his soul as well. But after seeing his kindness, she couldn't bring herself to harm him. Now that the demoness failed to obtain Chen's spirit, Xiaoqing warned that he would become the creature's next target. She advised him to spend the night inside the bearded man's room because, for some reason, the demoness seemed unable to approach him. Although Chen didn't fully trust the strange man, he had little choice. That evening, he brought wine to the bearded traveler and invited him to drink together. The two men eventually became drunk and passed out. Deep in the night, the demoness quietly attempted to enter the room. But the sword beside the bearded man suddenly reacted on its own, flying into the air and attacking the evil spirit. The bearded man instantly woke up and chased after the demoness with supernatural speed. Meanwhile, Chen hurried back to the well and found Xiaoqing still safe. But before they could speak for long, the demoness suddenly appeared there as well. The two quickly hid in the shadows. Realizing the bearded man was far stronger than expected, the demoness decided to flee the area entirely. However, before leaving, she tried taking Xiaoqing's ashes with her. Desperate, Xiaoqing begged to be released and allowed to reincarnate peacefully. The demoness became furious and viciously struck her. Unable to keep hiding any longer, Chen rushed out and protected Xiaoqing. But the demoness immediately became interested in him and attempted to devour his soul directly. Fortunately, the bearded man arrived just in time. He fired a magical weapon at the demoness, severely injuring her and forcing her to retreat once again. However, when the man realized Xiaoqing was a ghost, he immediately tried to capture her too. Chun Chen desperately stepped between them and explained that Xiao Qing had saved his life. After hearing the truth, the bearded warrior finally spared her. Still, he warned them that humans and spirits were never meant to remain together. He handed Chun Chen Xiao Qing's ashes and instructed him to bury them somewhere peaceful. Before leaving, he also gifted Chun Chen a sacred charm bag and warned him to always keep it nearby because the demoness was still alive. Chun Chen tried searching for a peaceful burial place, but the ongoing war had spread everywhere. Unable to find safety, he eventually brought Xiao Qing's ashes back to his own village and buried them there instead. But by then, Xiao Qing had already fallen in love with him. Because of those feelings, she couldn't move on to the next life. Instead, she shyly asked if she could remain with him just a little longer. Chun Chen agreed. From then on, Xiao Qing disguised herself as a normal human and quietly lived beside him in the village. The two worked together every day, shared the same home, and slowly built a peaceful life together. As time passed, they finally confessed their feelings openly. Chun Chen was the first to ask for marriage. After everything they had endured, simply being together felt like a miracle. The villagers happily celebrated the news and prepared for the wedding. But just as their happiness finally seemed secure, war reached their village too. Everyone was forced to flee. While escaping, Chun Chen suddenly spotted the demoness again. Terrified, he rushed home and warned Xiao Qing that the creature had found them. That night, he hung the sacred charm bag above the front entrance exactly as the bearded warrior instructed. Sure enough, the demoness arrived. Unable to cross the doorway because of the charm, she circled around the house searching for another way inside. At that moment, Xiao Qing quietly moved the charm from the entrance herself. Chun Chen stared at her in shock, but this had actually been her plan all along. As soon as the demoness entered the house, she unknowingly stepped closer and closer to the sacred charm. The evil spirit suddenly realized too late that she had fallen into a trap. The charm activated instantly. Dark hands burst out from inside the bag and violently dragged the screaming demoness away forever. Chun Chen finally thought everything was over. But then the hands turned towards Xiao Qing too. Because she was also a spirit, the charm began pulling her in as well. Horrified, Chun Chen grabbed onto her with all his strength. Xiao Qing tearfully leaned forward to give him one final goodbye kiss. And suddenly, everything changed. Warm color returned to her skin. A real shadow appeared beneath her feet. For the first time, Xiao Qing had become truly human. The years she spent beside Chun Chen had slowly filled her with human warmth and life. And that final kiss completed the transformation entirely. The two embraced each other in tears. Although war continued destroying the world around them, none of it mattered anymore. What mattered was that they could finally stay together as real husband and wife for the rest of their lives. The student listening to the story was stunned by the futuristic world filled with trains and endless war, but he admitted it was an incredibly beautiful love story.